we're at the forefront to be able to unlock some of the greatest mysteries of the mind.
There are so many things out there that look happenstance, but in fact there's a neurobiological basis.
As these technologies where you are interfacing brains with machines develop, then other possibilities open up.
We're really trying to work out the basic neural mechanisms that allow us to be people.
I do work on a specific neurodegenerative disease called prion disease. Prion diseases are actually a rare condition, but they've really taught us a lot about other neurodegenerative diseases. At the heart of prion diseases is normal protein of the brain becomes misfolded. This is a common theme in other neurodegenerative diseases. So Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease. This really rare disease has really important biological principles that carry over into other neurodegenerative diseases.
In the last 5 or 6 years, I have turned my lab's entire attention to the investigation of rodent helping. Many people think that helping is something that we do because we were taught to, either because our mom said the golden rule, or because what our religion tells us, or because of laws. And the alternative is there is a core piece of helping which is biologically motivated. So there's a free rat and there's a trapped rat. The door is difficult for the rats to open, but after a few days they do figure it out, and once they do open it, they like it. They're doing it because of the affect or the emotion of the trapped rat. And over the last 5 or 6 years, we've demonstrated that mammals have a stake in each other's well-being, and that one individual who sees another individual in distress will act to alleviate that other's distress.
What we focus on is how can we restore the sense of touch to amputees and tetraplegic patients. So this is a prosthetic finger. It contains receptors that resemble the kinds of receptors that we have in our hand. And so what we do in our lab is take the output of sensors like these. We develop algorithms to convert the output of these sensors into patterns of electrical stimulation of the brain to try to reproduce the kinds of patterns of activation that would happen in your brain. The sense of touch has a lot of commonalities with other senses, in particular with the vision. So we're sort of trying to identify general principles of sensory processing that transcend individual sensory modalities.
At the University of Chicago, I run the Human Performance Lab. And we're especially interested in what happens in the brain and body when we're in high stakes or high stress situations, from performing in the classroom to giving a great presentation in the business world to succeeding on the athletic field. What I hope my research can do is provide people with some knowledge so that they can apply some of the psychological tools that we've been discovering to perform better, especially when it matters most.
So my lab studies the part of the brain that's involved in supporting vision. We record from individual brain cells and try to understand how they can work together to produce a unified percept. The quantitative side is really important for neuroscience. It's one field of science where we actually generate, a flood of data. It's not good enough to just understand what one brain cell is doing and what type of information it represents. We really need to understand how thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of brain cells can work together. The goal for the Grossman Institute is to represent neuroscience across the whole university, including not only the departments in the medical school, but also all of the neuroscientists operating in social sciences and in the other divisions.
And I think working together, people can get ideas from each other. And I think that's what John Munsell is really trying to do.
I think that neuroanatomy can inform the world.
kind of like computers and the internet sort of changed our world. You can imagine interfacing brains with machines will change our world.
We're trying to really understand the core of the brain. What's the precise interaction that occurs between all of these cells and all of these structures and all of these nuclei that make up something like a thought. And once we understand that, everything else is going to fall into place behind it. Suddenly we'll know what autism is. We'll know what schizophrenia is. We'll know all the various ways that a brain can go wrong, and we'll be in a much stronger position to treat those disorders.
The Grossman Institute is an amazing opportunity to bring a diverse group of individuals together to tackle one of the most complex, mysterious issues of our time, the functioning of the human brain.